Welcome to the final lesson of editing and retouching this image here in Photoshop. I hope you found it all useful, and we are now going to make the final adjustment to bring it all together and blend all the adjustments we've done. So what we're going to do is create a brand new layer, and we'll rename this grain because we want to keep our files nice and organized. And then what we're going to do is fill this layer with a full-on 50% solid gray. Now to do this, we're going to hold Shift on our keyboard, and then we're going to press F5. So F5 should be at the top of your keyboard if you're wondering where it is. So Shift and F5 together, and it's going to bring up this fill box for us. Now for the contents, you want to set it to 50% gray. And you can leave the blending mode as normal, 100% opacity, and make sure preserve transparency is unticked. Now we can press OK, and now we just have a 50% gray solid overlaying our image. Now to add the grain, we're going to go up to Filter, come down to Noise, and Add Noise. So once again, that's Filter, Noise, Add Noise. We'll click it, and then in the options we can change the amount to 20%, distribution to Gaussian, and we've also made sure monochromatic is disabled. You can choose it. Basically it just makes the grain black and white instead of adding random color to it. And you can also tick the preview to see what's going on in the background. We're going to press OK. And then we're going to change the blend mode of the grain layer we just did from normal to overlay. Now I'll zoom in to show you what's going on. As you can see, it's just adding a small amount of grain to our image just to sort of blend it all together. It adds a nice subtle effect. That's really minor, but it's all the minor things that really count in Photoshop. And obviously we've got a very high sharpened image here, so it's just sort of blending that down a tiny bit, and obviously she's popping out a lot, but it just brings it down. So in the next lesson you're going to learn how to save this image, just in case you're wondering, for screen use, as well as just saving the file to make sure you have access to all of these from the beginning, which we started off here after we did a few minor adjustments in Adobe Camera Raw. Just shows you from removing the blemishes, removing the hair from the eyes, adding a different eye color, changing the contrast a bit, upping it a tiny amount with the levels, using the color balance to sort of bring in those blue shadows and more orangey highlights, adding the high pass for extra contrast, and then adding the grain to finish it all together. Super simple step-by-step technique of building up your file to having a really nice image to show.